I guess it was a week or two ago, we were talking about how music had an impact on um, like how we grew up or how we parent. I guess my question for you is, being that you have 3 daughters, and I mean, you've been in the music industry for a while, and you see how sometimes women get portrayed in music. Does that have an impact on like what you do with your daughters, like how you think to raise them, stuff like that?
No. Listen, I understand. Even back then, I understood that music is music, and that's someone's way of letting out whatever they need to let out. But that doesn't mean it's back to that same thing. I hate when people try to blame music for the way someone acts, but you don't blame the movies. You know what I'm saying? Society is for whatever reason geared towards saying rap music or any harsh type of music is the downfall for anyone acting out. But they wouldn't put film in the same scenario, and I don't agree with that. That's someone's form of expression. You know what I'm saying? So just because Megan and Cardi B wants to sing about their WAP, that doesn't mean that I raise my daughters like that. You know what I'm saying? In our house, you have to know how to differentiate the two. Right. You know what I'm saying? And my kids love Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. But you know, another thing that I like to do, or I like to make sure that I do, is not be hypocritical. Because anytime we as fathers now look at a situation with any of our kids, before you can discipline your kid or whatever the situation is, you have to automatically think about when you were the kid. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I find that parents don't do that. They just want to 100%, oh, what the hell are you doing? Whatever the case is. But then you have to think back like, wait a minute. When I was that age, didn't I do this same thing? Wasn't I listening to Snoop Dogg? Wasn't I listening to Akon? Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or even on the lighter side, we were still listening to LL Cool J and Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But our parents didn't understand it. So to them, they could have, LL Cool J could have been saying WAP for all they knew. Yeah. You know, like they didn't care. So for them, it was always turn that nonsense off, right? So for us in today's way of us parenting, we might listen to the new rappers and be like, turn that nonsense off. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm 43, right? And I have a 16-year-old and two 12-year-olds, right? So I have to constantly put myself back to when I was 15, 16, 17, when I was 11, 12, 13. I got to constantly think on that and what I was doing. What was I doing when I was in junior high? I had a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? My girlfriend from when I was in 8th grade, she was in 7th grade. We lasted all the way until we graduated from high school. But my 12-year-olds now being in the 7th grade, do I want to hear them come home and tell me, yeah, that's my boyfriend? What? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, so you might look at it in that instant, but then you have to think to yourself again, what were you doing when you were 12 and 13 years old? So now, again, not being a hypocrite.
I was about to ask you were saying, you know, thinking about disciplining your kids, but then thinking about, you know,
just thinking about when you were a kid too. You know what I'm saying? Like you like girls, you had a girlfriend, so how can you have a girlfriend when you were 12 and 13, but you can't? Your 12-year-old daughter.
I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing at 12 and 13.
Oh my goodness! Shut up.
You know what I'm saying? So again, now, like I said, I can't be the hypocrite. I have to now teach in a different way. So now if I feel like my kids have an interest in certain things, that I'm like, okay, now we got to have this conversation. Now it's time for us to actually have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And just try to do it in a whole way versus how it was done before.
That's a good perspective, man. I feel like basically what you were saying is like knowing your kids, you know? Because a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I hear other people say that it's bad, so you don't need to, even like you brought up the WAP thing. Like I know half the people that think it's bad ain't heard the song all the way, ain't seen the TikTok challenges, nothing. They just hear. What you said?
You ain't heard the WAP.
I thought you was about to say all the people that's mad ain't got WAP.
No, I ain't. Hey, this is a family-friendly show. But
well, that's why we're saying WAP.
Exactly. But nah, that's real.
Yeah.
Worship and praise.
Oh,
but I got a question from a DJ perspective. I know I've been in, I guess, the industry for now going on 10 years, but I want to know exactly how do you balance your DJ career as well as your family life, especially having daughters who are now teenagers, so you know they can kind of follow you with social media and stuff like that, I guess, too.
Yeah. Well, daddy got to go to work. I'll see y'all when I get back. Listen, man. Listen, I'm not one of those that beat around the bush. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to go to work. This is how we have what we got. Yeah. So you got to be able to understand that and know that there's going to be a lot of times when daddy got to be on tour. I got to be away. I got to be overseas. But I'll be right back. But, you know, again, my oldest is 16. She's about to be 17. So my kids have known me doing this all their life. You know? So, you know, they know, they're growing up with this. They know this is what daddy does. You know what I mean? So they're 100% cool with it.
Well, I feel like my daughter is too. She's only 2. Like she'll come in the room and scratch and all that stuff too. So I mean, she understands it to that perspective. But I know, like with me specifically, I have a large family, so it kind of goes from that perspective of always being there to now, like they see me doing all these bigger things, and they're like, "Well, you ain't check in with me, or you ain't check in with, you know, your older."
So has a question for you. Who all lives in the house?
My wife and my daughter.
There you go.
Hey, say that louder for the people in the back. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Because listen, you cannot please everyone.
Yeah.
And whereas you're thinking for you got a large family. Myself, Rock City, we have the whole Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Like all 150,000 of those people, they think and feel that whatever we do, it has to include them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So our family is large, but all I can account for is my household. You know, my 2 daughters live with their mom, but they live right behind me.
Okay.
Right on the parallel street from mine. But you know what I'm saying? But that's just the way that it goes, you know what I'm saying? So, to those family members, again, don't beat around the bush, man. Just let them know, hey, man, I'm working. I got to work. What do you want me to do?
What I'm doing.
Yeah, but you wasn't cook out. Okay, so what you want me to do?
If you wasn't working, they'd be talking trash, telling you to go get a job or something.
Yeah, but I mean, my listen, if you had the cookout, I missed the cookout. You wanted me to be there, but did you at least bring me a plate of food?
Hey,
what you thinking about me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All you know is, oh no, I should have been there though. Why? because you seen me on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, it's really not just us in the Virgin Islands that had that mentality too, that just because we seen you on TV, now you're the big star. Nah, it happens everywhere. It happens all over. Again, I was talking from the perspective of when I first got into this, I didn't know how, different things worked and stuff like that. But as I got, more into being a veteran in the game, now I understand, oh man, this happens everywhere. This is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? The only difference for me and y'all is that in the islands, when something happens, there is no running away. You can't just get in the car and drive to the next state. You know what I'm saying? You literally have to get on a plane to leave. You know what I mean? So that's the only difference for us. When something happens, you have to deal with it.
I was gonna say that's different.
So I just think it makes for us to, Chloe, get away from that. I think it makes for us to just deal with things a lot faster. We just deal with things, real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it difficult for the street life though, because I ain't want to tell on myself, but if I do something in one city, I'm hey, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to deal with skeletons, but I'm just saying that's how it went down. Like to be on the same island as you doing your did. So
so you got to be extra.
But then growing up on the island though, obviously that shaped you as a person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How you saying? Having that family aspect. Like how did your time, or I guess how did growing up on the island kind of shape you as the decisions you make as a father?
As a dad?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I just tried to use any of the experiences that I came up with. You know what I'm saying? Anything that I went through as a kid, whatever grievances I gave to my mom, because it was me and my sister were the black sheep. Sometimes they say there's always one black sheep in the family. Well, my mother had two of us. So, I think back on a lot of that type of stuff, the things that I put her through, so I'm really happy that I have girls, and my girls aren't like me and my sister at all. But, everything that I see them go through, I just have to really think back on what I was doing at that age and how I did it, and then try to bring it forward to today's day and age, because everything is different. Right. We played Nintendo. They have Xbox One. S.
PlayStation 5.
Right, you know what I'm saying? PS5 about to come out and stuff.
Yeah.
I still want to play Super Mario Brothers 3. I don't want to let go.
I feel it.
But yeah, that's really it. I try to balance it out by utilizing a lot of what I learned when I was a kid coming up, the things that I went through with my mom, because I only grew up with my mother. I didn't grow up with my pops.
That was gonna be my next question.
Okay, yeah. I didn't meet him until I was 15. I was already I was on the dark side already by the time I met him.
On the dark side.
Yeah, I was on the dark side. Yeah.
Wait, was he on the island too?
No, he was not. He moved there. He moved back when I was 15.
Gotcha.
Right.
So after Hurricane Marilyn, because he was in the army, and after Hurricane Marilyn, he got stationed back in the Virgin Islands because we were so devastated back in '95. They had to give out MREs and stuff like that. Well, no, actually, he came back before '95, but then the hurricane hit in '95. But I just remember him being one of the army people that used to deliver MREs to homes and stuff like that. And I guess we used to get extra perks of boxes of MREs. You know what an MRE is, right? A meal ready to eat.
The ready, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Right. So that's what we had, like tons of it on the island. Because remember, now we're only 12 miles long. We don't have any proper agriculture and stuff like that. So we rely on everything to be imported in. So once a hurricane comes and our power gets shut down, like in my area, I didn't have electricity from the hurricane hit in September. I didn't get electricity until January.
Wow.
Right? So from September to January, I went with no electricity at all. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out how to work around that type of stuff and things. So, you know, again, these are things that I try to tell my kids. They can't understand it really, but you know, we try our best to explain it to them of how it is, how, you know, what we did. Sometimes you can do little experiments with them, you know, go to the breaker and just turn it off.
I'll turn it back on next week.
See how long they can survive once their phone goes down to 1%.
Hey, that's an age-old struggle, man. You work to give them the life that you wanted, but you still want them to have that drive and that struggle that make them humble.
Well, all day, because you don't want your kids to become quote unquote privileged. Mm-hmm. But then again, this is what you work for. You work hard so that they would never experience what you went through. But then once you actually have kids, now you start thinking back like, wait a minute, all the things that I experienced is what made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if they get a little taste of any of that, it would be able to help shape them in the particular way that I was shaped. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, everybody goes through their different circumstances and situations and experiences, and everybody gotta live on their own. Like right now, my daughter, she wouldn't even take a class trip out of state. Because in her mind, my 16-year-old, because in her mind, she's like, I don't know them kids. I don't want to know them kids like that. I don't want to hang with them. I'm not going out of the country with them. Well, you know, if my family isn't there, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, man, you gotta just go. You gotta get on a plane and go. Sometimes you just gotta sleep on someone's couch.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? But again, that's what we went through.
Right.
So, you know, but we try to tell them, you know, they're like, what? What kind of parent are you?